Welcome to ZoomInData, your trusted destination for mastering data and analytics interviews. In this video, we explore 25 essential interview questions on Delta Lake in Microsoft Fabric, explained with very detailed, interview-oriented answers in a clear and structured format. This session is ideal for data engineers, BI developers, data architects, and freshers preparing for Microsoft Fabric interviews. 1. What is Delta Lake in Microsoft Fabric? Delta Lake is an open-source storage layer built on top of data lake storage that brings reliability and performance to big data workloads. In Fabric, Delta Lake is the foundation format used in Lakehouse and OneLake. It adds transactional capabilities to raw data storage. It enables consistent, high-quality analytics. 2. How does Delta Lake improve data reliability? Uses transaction logs to track all changes. Prevents partial writes and data corruption. Supports versioned data management. Ensures stable and trusted datasets. 3. How does Delta Lake support ACID transactions? Guarantees atomic operations. Maintains consistency across updates. Isolates concurrent operations safely. Provides durability through persistent storage. 4. How does Delta Lake handle schema enforcement? Validates incoming data against existing schema. Rejects incompatible writes. Prevents silent data corruption. Maintains schema integrity. 5. How does Delta Lake support schema evolution? Allows controlled schema updates. Supports adding or modifying columns. Maintains backward compatibility. Prevents breaking downstream pipelines. 6. How does Delta Lake enable time travel? Stores historical versions of tables. Allows querying data from previous points in time. Supports rollback operations. Simplifies auditing and debugging. 7. How does Delta Lake manage metadata? Stores metadata in transaction logs. Tracks schema, versions, and operations. Enables efficient query planning. Supports governance and auditing. 8. How does Delta Lake improve performance? Supports data skipping and indexing. Uses optimized file layout. Enables caching and query optimization. Reduces data scan overhead. 9. How does Delta Lake integrate with Lakehouse? Lakehouse tables are stored in Delta format. Both SQL and Spark operate on Delta tables. No data duplication required. Ensures consistent analytics. 10. How does Delta Lake support streaming workloads? Supports real-time ingestion into Delta tables. Enables exactly once processing. Handles late arriving data. Supports continuous analytics pipelines. 11. How does Delta Lake handle concurrent reads and writes? Uses optimistic concurrency control. Prevents conflicting updates. Allows multiple readers and writers. Ensures transactional consistency. 12. How does Delta Lake support version control? Maintains version history for every table. Allows accessing specific versions. Supports comparison between versions. Enables rollback and recovery. 13. How does Delta Lake ensure data consistency? Enforces ACID properties. Prevents partial updates. Maintains transaction integrity. Guarantees accurate analytics results. 14. How does Delta Lake support incremental processing? Supports merge and upsert operations. Processes only changed records. Reduces processing time and cost. Improves pipeline efficiency. 15. How does Delta Lake manage data compaction? Combines small files into larger optimized files. Improves query performance. Reduces file management overhead. Maintains efficient storage structure. 16. How does Delta Lake handle file optimization? Automatically optimizes file layout. Reorganizes data for faster access. Improves scan efficiency. Enhances overall system performance. 17. How does Delta Lake support rollback operations? Allows reverting to previous versions. Simplifies error recovery. Protects against accidental data changes. Supports safe experimentation. 18. How does Delta Lake integrate with SQL endpoints? SQL engines query Delta tables directly. Enables consistent results across tools. Supports advanced analytics queries. Simplifies by integration. 19. How does Delta Lake support machine learning workloads? Provides clean, versioned training datasets. Enables reproducible experiments. Supports feature engineering pipelines. Scales with model training needs. 20. How does Delta Lake handle large-scale data processing? Designed for petabyte-scale workloads. Scales compute and storage efficiently. Handles high concurrency. Maintains stable performance. 21. How does Delta Lake reduce data corruption risk? Enforces schema and transaction validation. Prevents partial writes. Tracks all data changes. Supports recovery from failures. 22. How does Delta Lake support data governance? Integrates with governance tools. Tracks lineage and usage. Enforces access policies. Supports compliance requirements. 23. How does Delta Lake optimize storage costs? Eliminates duplicate data storage. Uses efficient file formats. Supports data compaction and cleanup. Reduces storage overhead. 24. How does Delta Lake scale with business growth? Supports massive data growth. Handles increasing workloads and users. Maintains performance consistency. Adapts to changing business needs. 25. What are best practices for using Delta Lake? Use partitioning and compaction. Enforce schema management. Monitor performance and storage. Apply strong governance and security policies. Thank you for watching. If this video helped you, please like, subscribe and save for your interview preparation. If you want more questions on real-time projects, contact ZoomInData.